Welcome to Code with Kamira, and today we are going to look at the README file. So the README file is this file here at the root of your project. You always find this file. So why is it important? What does it do? And so on. That's what we are going to look at. And having pushed it to GitHub, we can see it here. Okay. All right. So we are saying that every software project has a hidden instruction manual, and that is the README file. So that README file is like a manual that helps you to understand the project or to have an insight of the project. And it's very necessary for every developer to go through that file if it exists, because some may not have updated it, but it is important that it is updated to guide a developer. So we can say maybe definition, a README file is a document that explains what a project does, how to install, and how to use it. It is the first file you should read before touching any code. Yes, to developers, this is a common mistake. Some of you, when you get added to a project, you just clone it and start building using the prior knowledge that you have. It's okay, but it is advisable to read this README file because it could have some hidden information that you are not aware of, and that information can unblock you. Instead of reaching out to certain some teammates or project managers that you are stuck installing the project or running the project, the README file has to be read. Okay. Location. So we are saying, where is it located? In most projects, it is found at the root folder named README.md. See here, you've cloned your project, you have it at the root. So we have README file is here. Okay, and I've updated it for this project that we are working on. Okay. Now, key sections. There is a project title section, what the project is called, description, what the project does, installation, how to set up the project, usage, how to run or use it, tech stack, tools used like Flutter, Firebase, contribution, how others can help improve it. Those are the sections. Okay, so now we are going to look at ours here. Then we have analogy. A README is like a user manual for a phone. You do not need it daily, but without it, you won't know how to start. Definitely. Example, a README is written in Markdown, which allows formatting like headings, lists, and code blocks. Importance: a good README saves time, reduces confusion, and helps developers understand the project quickly. As simple as that. So let's look at our project. We've been working on a project, and we are still working on this project to completion. So what project is it? So the project is our Flutter dummy JSON client. Flutter dummy, there is an API known as dummy JSON. So that API is the one we are consuming. If you've noticed it in our project, it is in the base URL. So we can check here. So our base URL is here. This is it. This is for dummy JSON API. So we are consuming this API. So the project is given, and the project is in Flutter. Therefore, we've called it project Flutter dummy JSON. That's the API we are consuming, and we are the client. Okay. So description. You look at it. A production-ready Flutter application built using feature-based clean architecture, qubit block state, management, repository pattern, and REST API integration with the dummy JSON API. So I think this is clear. You see this first line, what it is telling us. So if you are a first timer on this project, you will understand that they are using a clean architecture, right? Feature based. So you'll know how the project is structured even by reading the README. And also how the state is managed. There is managing state using block, that's block and qubit, or using Riverpod. So here in this case, you'll know that they are using qubits. The project serves as a practical reference for Flutter developers looking to build scalable, maintainable, and testable applications using modern software engineering practices. The application demonstrates clean separation of concern by organizing each feature into its own data domain, logic, and UI. So you've already seen this. We have the features here. So for example, the auth, you could have used the auth feature. We have the data, which has the models and repositories, and then we have the domain, which has the repository. And this difference between the two repositories is already explained, that this in the domain, the repository is an abstract class that has only methods with no implementation. And the one in this data section is the implementation of these methods. Now we have also the logic, where now we have the auth qubit, and then we have the UI, which has the pages and the widgets. Okay, now features. Feature-based clean architecture, qubit block state management, REST API integration using DIO. So we are saying that this project, we are using REST API integration, and that is by DIO for API calls. You can see that already here, REST API, okay? And we have the DIO here. Repository pattern, so we have the repositories, I've showed you already. Data transfer objects, so you see in the feature, we look at the profile. Where is it? Profile feature. We had some mappers, okay, and the models, and the models in the domain as well. So these ones in the data, as to the previous tutorial, these are DTOs, data transfer objects. DTOs. So we have domain models, then mapping extensions to domain. So like, for example, this bank. So this is an extension, and this is down mapping from the bank DTO to bank. So the domain model in which is bank. And we have JSON serializable, so serialize it, okay. Dependency injection, error handling, and state management, scalable project structure. Now these are the features. Now we have architecture. This project follows a feature-based clean architecture approach where each feature is self-contained and organized into 4 layers. So this explains it all. Instead of looking for a certain fix in an unknown location, it is very easy for you to, as a developer, to jump direct into a given folder or feature, and then start debugging or troubleshooting to fix something. So we have the data layer, we have the domain, we have the logic layer, UI. So all these you've been seeing as we were doing our work. So the project structure. So the README is very important. So you know how the project is structured from the lib. We have the core, which has these. We have the shared. We have the feature. Now there's a point of interest, the feature. So okay, this is how they're arranging it. We have the auth, we have the profile. And then the auth has data, domain, logic, UI, and so on. The same structure. So this explains it. And this is a sample, DTO to domain mapping example. How we are mapping from the API data to the UI data. The domain is the UI data. And the technology is used, that's Flutter, Flutter block, DO for network calls, get it and injection. So getting started now, this is how, now you are telling a user or a developer how to get started. So he needs the prerequisites, so he needs Flutter SDK, SDK, Android Studio, this. Then to clone, so you tell this person to copy this and then he clones it in a given location where he wants that project to be run from. And then you navigate to that project folder or directory. So installing Flutter pub-get, this one helps you to get the dependencies. The generate serialization files, this one will help you get the files that are auto-generated. Then this watching the changes. How to run, now it depends on how you want to run, whether you want to run in a command or you want to run from the IDE itself. So the learning objective, now you know that this project we are learning, okay? We are moving slowly by slowly, implementing bits of code and concepts because we want to learn something. So this project demonstrates feature-based screen architecture, DTU and domain and so on. You can read everything here. API source, where is this API coming from? So you have to tell, explicitly you tell where the API is coming from, and this is the API. Okay, I got this API from, it's a free API, you can also get it and we work along. For example, yeah, this is the API. Okay, so this API, I can slash users and see, yeah, now you see the data. Users data. So you can slash products, cart, and so on. You play with that API. So that's what we are working on. We are back here. Project purpose. The purpose of this repository is to provide a real-world Flutter application that showcases modern architectural pattern and development practices. It can be used as a learning resource for Flutter developers, a clean architecture reference project, and so on. You can continue reading. Contributions, suggestions, and improvements are welcome. Feel free to fork the repository, create a feature branch, and submit a pull request. Note, do not push to develop. Create your branch and create a pull request. License this and so on. So this is the README. As I mentioned earlier, it is necessary that every developer first reads the README of the project that is onboarding onto. Thank you for watching Code with Kamira, and kindly subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, and share with your friends so that we can learn together. Bye.